The Chicago Bulls start off their 4-game road trip in one of the most exciting ways possible with a 22-point comeback victory over the Sacramento Kings, a game in which Coby White scores his career high. We're going to talk about that game. We're also going to talk about Coby White and Ayo Dosunmu as how they're forming together as a backcourt maybe of the present and future. And we're going to look at some of the things that coaching can do to kind of unlock this team a little bit more. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Sir Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. So the Chicago Bulls get a thrilling victory over the Sacramento Kings. This is a game which, listen, it was a fun game to watch. And despite the Bulls getting out to an early deficit in which the Sacramento Kings started off the game on like a 22-9 run, something like that, it all comes back to the Bulls. Coby White didn't take a shot in the first quarter of that game. Ayo Dosunmu really stood up and was the kind of the Bull who scored the best in that first quarter, keeping the Bulls in that game. And then in the second quarter, that's when Coby White started to turn it on. The Bulls even briefly took a lead at that point in time and then just kept going. Now, the third quarter came along. The Bulls, end up going down again by a big deficit, but they were able to bond together as a team and play throughout that game. And the way that the Bulls closed out this game, particularly in how Coby White and DeMar DeRozan in the second half of that game really stood up and put the team on their back. DeMar DeRozan scoring 19 points in the fourth quarter alone. It just really brings together the kind of the duality of this team, right? That you can lose to a team like the Detroit Pistons, but then come back and then win against a team like the Sacramento Kings in a comeback victory. And that's really kind of been the other identity of the Chicago Bulls team, how they play when they get down in big deficits. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But the biggest story of this game is going to be, in one thing, Coby White scoring his career high against the Sacramento Kings, 37 points, 7 assists in a 22-point comeback victory is big. When you look also just how Coby went along in that game and kind of let the game come to him. He went 5 of 9 from three-point range in this game, really finding that shooting stroke again for him. 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal from Coby White in this game. But there are times in this game where Coby White understood how and where to put pressure on the defense. And that, outside of just the 37 points that he scored, is the thing. Coby White, again, developing that leadership, understanding of how to break down the defense, right? Getting to the rim, even, using the fact that he was hitting his three-point shot, but getting to the rim outside of that, and then even dishing it off. Some of the no-look passes that Coby White had were great. They weren't always converted by the other players, but Coby really played an excellent brand of basketball last night for the Chicago Bulls, and his teammates understood the way that he's done it. So far this season, Coby White has had 7 30-point games. Well, he had 7 30-point games in his first 4 seasons. He's had 5 in just the last 2 months of this NBA season so far, and the players on this team recognize what Coby White means to this team, and they talked about Coby White here.
Yeah, he's going to fight. He's just going to do that. He's very competitive.
We all seen him have that in him, but now for him to know, you don't got to worry about mistakes, missed shots. He can stay with it because any given moment he could get it going and win us a game, and feel good when those moments present itself. When he carry us to victory tonight, get us back in the game. Especially when you play off a guy like that, like you said, someone who can get it going. He got a little tired, and I told him at one point before we made the comeback, I'm right there with him. We started pulling it closer, stuck with it, did what we have to do, pull out the win.
He made a couple great drives to the basket. He made a couple threes. I thought the one key play, which was great, we got it, and he ended up dribbling down the floor. He got that three-point play. There was a lot of big plays that he made, and you can't just every single time just expect DeMar to carry it all the time, and he certainly carried his weight there in the second half as much you could. But I thought Coby was great, in terms of really capitalizing and being aggressive in the opportunities that he had to do that.
And it's always good to see the players understand and talk about Coby. And Coby continues to grow as a leader and a teammate as well. Even on the career night, he gave up so much, props to his teammates and credit to his teammates and how they played, saying this: I just think the character of the guys in this room. For me, I've been here 5 years. Some of these guys I've been playing with, but just getting to know their backgrounds, where they come from, their journeys, their stories, how they're able to fight through adversity just in life the basketball court is easy, but but the stuff a lot of these guys went through in their lifetime and how they fought through it and how they challenged, how every challenge that came their way, they seem to get over and run through that. That character of the room creates the resilience of this basketball team. I was just trying to let the game come to me. Ayo really had it going in the first quarter. He really was aggressive getting downhill, catch and shoot. So I was just trying to play off him, let him do his thing. And then when my opportunities came, I wanted to take advantage of it. I wasn't trying to force anything. And that just says a lot about Coby White on a career night. And he said even more, if you guys can find the clip on social media, he said even more about his teammates, even Nikola Vucevic, in a game where Vuce didn't shoot the ball well at all, going 4 of 13, but he did have a double-double of 10 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Coby White even talking about the screens that he was setting, how he helped the players the guards get downhill and get in position to win. And so, it was a total team win. This team had to come together for this. Yes, Coby and DeMar really in a lot of ways carried the team, like I said, in that second half of the game. But Coby White's 37 points. Then you also have DeMar DeRozan with 33 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. Those 2 steals coming in the fourth quarter as well, where he scored 19 points, which we'll talk more about. Ayo Dosunmu, who really helped carry the team in that first quarter and keep it as close as what it was. 20 points he scores, 9 of 15 from the field, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 rebounds in this game. And then not really too much production off the bench. We only had 11 total points off the bench. Julian Phillips did lead the team in scoring off the bench and second in minutes, only second to Andre Drummond, who played 16 minutes. But Julian Phillips had 6 points, 1 rebound in this game, only 1 turnover. And then Andre Drummond with 4 points, 6 rebounds in this game as well. Nothing from Javon Carter. Ernolap Bateen played 13 minutes, went 0-3 from the field. But, he did some things defensively, especially in that first half. Ernolap played really good defensive minutes for the Chicago Bulls. So, again, everybody had their place where they had some impact on the game. Absolutely. And when you really look at it, right, Coby and Ayo in a lot of ways continue to be and look like that backcourt of the future for the Bulls. We actually had a clip from them after the game. We're going to play that here.
Coby, Ayo, we're doing this together. You guys are down 22 points in that third quarter. What were you guys talking about in the huddle?
Had to keep fighting. I just told the team, keep fighting, keep going. We can score. We have a lot of offensive talent. It's all about getting stops. And when we start to get stops, everything else starts to take care of itself.
Coby, you didn't take a shot in the first quarter. You finished with a career-high 37 points. What changed for you?
I was just trying to let it come to me. Didn't want to force it. Just try to let it come to me. Ayo had it going big time in the first half, so let him do his thing and just playing off him. And when my opportunity came, I just tried to take advantage of it.
DeMar DeRozan scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. You've seen that movie before, right?
Yeah. That's him. He a killer. I told him to stay together, stay with it. Just keep going. Just keep coming. And we did that, and we gave ourselves a chance to win down the stretch.
You were guarding De'Aaron Fox throughout a lot of that game, and you got off to that strong start offensively. How difficult is that to handle that two-way assignment?
I mean, it's fun. I love competing. You get lost in the competition. Fox is one of the better guards in the league.
My youngest!
It's fun going out there competing. And then offensively, it's going out there having fun, trusting our work. I love seeing our guys eat. It's fun. I'm excited.
Coby, this is a big 4-game trip. How important is it to start off on this note?
It's very important. This 4 games is big for our season. We play a lot of good teams. It's good to start off, with a win in this building, this atmosphere against a really, really good team in the NBA. So, for us, it's important. We willed it out and we finished strong. So,
thanks for your time, guys.
And when the team plays together, the sky's the limit for this team. And that's both defensively and offensively, right? When we spread the ball around, when we get everybody involved as much and everybody's hitting their open shots and things like that and not hesitating to take shots, it really helps this team. But defensively especially, this is a team that when they play quick, play with a faster pace, they have to do that off rebounding and getting steals, 9 steals that they had in this game. They also won their points off turnover battle. When you do that as a Chicago Bulls team, shooting the ball 50%, having 28 assists on 42 made baskets, that's going to be the type of thing that keeps everybody involved in this game. And like I said, the sky's the limit when it comes to this basketball team when they're playing truly as a team. And then even on top of that, I've talked a little bit about it, I've kind of touched on it. DeMar DeRozan was the king of the fourth again. 19 points in the fourth quarter after only scoring 4 points, I believe, in the first half of this game. But DeMar DeRozan in that fourth quarter was back to being what he needed to be. And you even heard it in that clip. He talked about, hey, Coby was a little winded out there. So I needed to step up and put myself in a position to help support Coby. And that's the amazingness from it when you look at it, especially in that first half. Like I said, DeMar DeRozan, he had one bucket made. He only took one shot. He did get to the free throw line four times, hit 3 of those. He had 5 points in the first half of this game, total in the first half. And then when you look at just the fourth quarter alone, 19 points, going 7 of 7 shooting, 1 for 1 from three-point range, and those 2 steals. DeMar DeRozan absolutely stepped up when the Bulls needed him the most and was that king of the fourth for the Chicago Bulls yet again. And, you love to see it when it comes. But this comes back to another comeback victory for the Chicago Bulls. And this has really been a lot of the identity of the Bulls outside of the growth of Ayo, outside of the growth of Coby White. When it comes down to it, the comeback from behind victories, the fact that this team kind of plays better when they get out to early deficits, things like that, has been one of the biggest stories of this team. And, everybody kind of talked about how the team has these comeback moments, and they talked about that here.
Like I always say, we wouldn't like to do that. We want to play from in front, but at this point in the season, however you can get wins, you got to get wins. You got to start stacking wins. So I don't care how we get them. I don't care how it look. At the end of the day, if we win, that's all we care about. So no matter how it is, it's sometimes it's ugly, sometimes it's not. Sometimes, a lot of times for us, it's from behind, but we're figuring it out. So
at least going into the half, I thought 2 things happened. I thought to close the first quarter and to close the second quarter, they really dominated us. I think it was like a 17-2 run maybe at the end of the first, and I don't know what it was, like 8 or 9-0 run at the end of the second.
I mean, it's big. Give us confidence to go out here in Utah, another tough place to play, another team that's playing extremely well. To go out there and, play with confidence. Understand that, it's us against everybody on the road. We felt it tonight in a hostile place versus a very good team. We got to carry that momentum over to the next.
Playing with confidence as the team finishes and you finish it strong, that's what matters. And hopefully this team can now build off confidence like in games like this and use this to finish out the remaining, 20 games left strong as possible. And that's going to be a big part of it. Now, another big part of this season, hopefully finishing strong for the Chicago Bulls, is going to be Ayo Dosunmu and Coby White and their continued growth. And it's left many people to ask, can Coby and Ayo be the backcourt of the future if the Chicago Bulls do move on from Zach LaVine this offseason? You guys know I have my doubts on the Bulls' ability to move on from Zach this offseason. I think they're still going to be, I think at the earliest, Zach maybe next year at the trade deadline. But hey, weird things have happened. But Coby and Ayo are showing that they have that chemistry together, which they did flash a little bit of Ayo's rookie year as well during the time period they were both coming off the bench. But over the last 15 games, Coby White and Ayo as a backcourt, and keep in mind, the reason why I want to use these last 15 games is because keep in mind, that is even with Coby White being on the slump that he was on for a little while there, right? Multiple slumps really over 15 games, but they're averaging together as a backcourt 58.3 points per game, 8.1 rebounds, almost 10.5 assists per game, and almost 2 steals per game. As a backcourt overall, those are excellent numbers. And the way that these guys have grown and developed together in this season, I said it before, I've said it on multiple videos. The way that we talk about Coby White making that leap, a lot of ways Ayo Dosunmu's made that leap as well. And these guys are building off of it, playing together. And that's something that makes it special of having players that have been together for as long as these guys have been together, right? When you're able to have that, it really does. It helps a lot of things all come together for a team. And so really good seeing that, man, and just seeing how this team performs, seeing how this team, and these players are like really stepping up in most needed moments when Zach LaVine goes down, right? Having other players being in and out of the rotation. Coby White and Ayo Dosunmu have built this nice backcourt, this duality backcourt together where, yeah, Ayo Dosunmu is more of a combo guard who isn't as well-rounded as Coby offensively, even though his three-point shooting has come along tremendously for the Chicago Bulls as a starter, averaging over 5 3-pointers made and hitting that at a 44% clip. But then you have also the growth of Coby White and him being the offensive firepower who's no slouch defensively at all either. And I'm not saying that this is going to be necessarily the long-term starting backcourt of the future. I'm not even sitting here saying that this is going to be a winning backcourt for a long period of time yet. We need to see I want to see a longer sample size before I'm willing and ready to say that. But I am saying that this backcourt, there is something special with these players together, the chemistry together, the fact that they're both on really reasonable team-friendly deals. And hopefully, like I've said in a video before, this front office takes advantage and adds to the team's drafts well. Also, not just because to build around Coby and Ayo, but to take advantage of you having cost-controlled, and effective contracts on this team. And let's hope that that's the case, man. And, DeMar DeRozan in that clip I played earlier, calling them his youngins, things like that. They've learned really good things from DeMar DeRozan. And now having that player development department, things are going to go forward. Now, the Bulls have wing depth, right? I still think that this offseason, as I said in the video before, hopefully we start seeing, the front office kind of use what we've seen from these players to really build something meaningful around them. But when it comes down to it, like Coby and Ayo have really stepped up well together. And when you factor in the injuries to Zach LaVine, right, the fact that Alex Caruso's been in and out of the lineup, Torrey Craig's been in and out of the lineup, we still may look for young wing depth, a 3-and-D wing or something like that. But the future's brighter for the Chicago Bulls. And in a time where a lot of people seemingly on social media talk like kind of negatively about this team and how they view it and kind of the relationship between the Bulls. We are in a beautiful relationship with the Bulls, but Coby and Ayo. Then we have young players in OB, Dalen Terry, right, who are also going to be on that wing, and Dalen Terry, who should be playing more. We'll talk a little bit about Javon Carter here, but Dalen Terry at this point, in my opinion, should be playing more than Javon Carter. Then you add in Julian Phillips to that, and then the veteran Alex Caruso, who the Bulls seem content in keeping and focused on keeping to this team. Regardless of what happens with Zach, we got some wing depth here. We just need everybody getting healthy. We need to play everybody, which brings me to the next thing. I just want to talk a little bit about the coaching aspect for the Chicago Bulls, right? And that is, like, for one, what I just said. Why is Javon Carter still playing? Like, I know, and I saw ATS like, oh, well, Javon Carter had the tied for the highest plus minus right along with Andre Drummond. Javon Carter played like shit, and plus minus is also a stat that isn't always about the one-on-one performance. Now you can take from that with the eye test. You want to pair that with the eye test of how a player impacted the game outside of like scoring and things. But Javon Carter has been absolute garbage, man. 11 minutes played, 0 for 3 from the field, and that one did have some really good defense in the first half of the game. I will give him that. He had some really good defense in the second half of this game. But at this point, I'd much rather play Dalen Terry. And you got to ask yourself the rotations, like Dalen Terry, a DNP in this game, right? A DNP in this type of game. I understand why Terry Taylor got a DNP and stuff like that, but a DNP from Dalen Terry for this game. Your young player that actually in the last few games you've actually put him in has played pretty well, and you put him in there for Javon Carter, right? I mean, you put Javon Carter in there ahead of him. So some questions there. Also pace. We knew coming into this game, into this season, the Chicago Bulls wanted to play with a quicker pace. The Bulls right now play at the 24th worst pace in the NBA. And so, I think that what we're seeing right now, of course, and we talked a little bit about this on Locked On Bulls, there's a mix between the how the younger players are kind of play better with pace, right? With a quicker pace, and how DeMar and how Nikola Vucevic kind of are adapting to playing with a quicker pace. I'm not going to say they're terrible at it because they're not. There's absolute games where Vooch is even good with the Bulls playing in the quicker pace. And DeMar DeRozan, especially when he does more ball handling because he's not good off ball, can be effective as well. But playing with the quicker pace has to come through playing better defense, right? So you have to have your players locked in defensively, which is going to be a big thing for this Bulls team to do over the next, the ending part of the season. But, those are two things that I'm kind of looking at. The rotations, playing at a quicker pace. How do you have this team prepared defensively? Is this team on the court as well? Are the players playing in transition like they can, right? Attacking the rim. That was one thing that this Bulls team did very well in the first half of the game. They attacked the rim. They didn't do it as well in the third quarter, which, saw that deficit, and then they started getting back to it. So, those type of things that we're looking at. Coaching has to stand up as well as the players over this stretch, and let's hope that continues for this team. And so, also, we did get an update yesterday from Billy Donovan that it's not ruled out that Torrey Craig could rejoin the team on this road trip and start playing games. And so we'll see if that holds true. If Torrey Craig, we know that it was 2 to 4 weeks that was projected in. If he's going to be back closer to that 2-week timeline, hey, that can't do nothing but help the Chicago Bulls, especially at a period of time where their next 6 games are all against play-in teams. We only have 1 game against a team that's below 500, and that's the Utah Jazz, which we play tomorrow. So let's hope that that's the case, man. But we got one voicemail that we want to get into. But before we get into that voicemail, here's a message from our sponsor, Aura. I'm sure most of you know anyone can find anything on the internet, including your full legal name and personal email, your home address, phone number, and even your relatives. For me, personally, I never took this kind of stuff seriously, that people can take my personal data and use it for their own financial gain. Well, in 2019, I got my identity stolen, including my social security number and credit card information, and it was a total nightmare getting it all sorted out. from recouping loans that were taken out in my name and shopping sprees on my credit card. There are some really bad people out there, and it's sad to say, but it's true. Do a Google search for your personal information or someone you know and see if a people search site shows up. The information is easily accessible because of data brokers who profit by selling your information to robocallers, telemarketers, spammers, and anyone else that wants to learn more about you. And so for me, protecting my and my family's personal data and information is at the utmost importance because of the terrible experience I had 4 years ago. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura will identify data brokers that are exposing your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf. They will even opt out of junk mail and telemarketing lists. Aura also monitors your emails and passwords to see if they were involved in any data breach and exposed on the dark web. Aura's app also features VPN password manager, real-time credit card and identity theft monitoring, internet parental controls, and protects your device from malware. Aura has almost every internet safety tool you'll ever need, all inside one app, which is what makes it so amazing, so that you don't have to use multiple platforms and sites to protect yourself. Let Aura do the hard work, keeping you safe online. And if you sign up right now, Aura will give you a 2-week free trial with my link below. You'll be shocked at how much your private information Aura finds exposed over 2 weeks. I was shocked at how much my information Aura was able to find when I was using the app. Go to aura.com/CBC to start your free trial. Also linked in the description, or you can scan the QR code here. Now back to the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the voicemail back for today. This one's from Shay.
Yo, Haize, I saw Locked On Bulls tonight, and I have to do another rebuttal, my guy. Yo, well, not necessarily a rebuttal, but I'm going to answer some questions. I'm going to answer a question. You guys said that you are still wondering if this Coby White and Ayo Dosunmu backcourt could work for a long stint of time. I'm here to answer your question. It can. Because one simple fact, I had said this in a couple of voicemails ago, Coby White and Ayo Dosunmu are both playing roles that they are now comfortable in. More so Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo has to be more of a combo guard. We've already established that. He's not really good long-term point guard. We already know that. Now that he's playing at a role that he's normally used to, which is an off-guard role or maybe a combo guard where he's doing everything and also mostly of the scoring, you see him flourish a lot more in that role. So yes, I do believe that they could work and for years to come due to the fact that both guys are actually more comfortable in their roles and both guys are actually normally good at when you're known for doing a certain thing in college or how you start out playing your game, I mean you're gonna adjust well in the NBA. It's kinda like, how do I say it? Letting a guy like a Colin Sexton be more of a combo guard than a pure point guard. You know what I'm saying? These guys are now playing the way that they are normally used to playing, how they started out playing. More so Ayo, because Coby is doing more of the assistance. But now they're playing how they used to play in college, and now that they're playing a certain way that they're most comfortable at. So I think that this could work for years to come. But hey, that's just me. I could be wrong. Anyway, tell me what you think. Peace.
All right, Shay. Listen, I kind of talked about it and kind of went in detail in the segment before. But here's the thing. What we were asking, and Shay, much always, you don't always listen all the way. We had, I think Pat has more doubt than me. But I think when it comes down to it, we just need to see it more consistently. And yes, their skill set can overlap. It's also about the caliber, right? And if you do have Ayo Dosunmu and Coby White as your starting backcourt, okay, that's fine. How do you then support that by the way that you build out the rest of the roster? Not only the starting five, but the bench depth as well, right? The bench was terrible in last night's game. 11 total points from it as far as scoring aspect, right? They came in and did some defensive things, but as far as from the scoring aspect, we need a little bit more than that, and we need it more consistently. And if the Bulls do get that, then that's going to help the Chicago Bulls. But Coby and Ayo are really kind of changing the opinion on the Bulls' young players, or us not having a future, the future not being bright. And so I understand why you have that faith in them, and that faith has been rewarded through their play, and let's hope that it continues. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, the number to do so 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See Red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.